Now, in this day and age, being paid to stalk somebody is actually a thing. Okay, there are so many of us out here who experience these extreme stalking cases for hire that I don't even think that society is aware of it. And in some cases, as I come to understand it, the intent is actually to harm you physically. And the reasoning is irrelevant, actually. The only important factor is that there's somebody or more than one parties that's lurking about in your vicinity trying to do harm to you, be it physically or spiritually. Now, I believe these individuals methodically remain as hidden as possible to prevent from having solid proof of their actions. Now, I'm not sure if these situations are in place to orchestrate a physical attack at some point, and I'm sure more times than we are aware of that it is. However, I do believe in other situations, the goal is to cause mental anguish, and that's not to take away from the situations to where they're trying to cause you physical harm. You know, they try to create an environment of anxiety for victims to, I assume, to have some sort of mental breakdown, Now, believe it or not, stalkers can and will go so far as to occupy living space in your vicinity, like next door, upstairs from you, downstairs from you, just to be more effective. And they create things like anxiety, paranoia, fear, and that's the most twisted thing that I can think of, honestly. There's all sorts of monitoring devices available nowadays that people can monitor you right from next door or upstairs or downstairs from you, unbeknownst to you, if you're not fully tapped into your intuition. Now, this is why I speak about energy so much, because you can't hide energy and you can read energy effortlessly. Now, I've watched testimonial videos of many people's experiences dealing with stalkers and gang stalking, and it's heartbreaking to say the least. Why anybody would purposely set out to create a hostile environment for anyone, that's just mind-blowing. As I said, a lot of times people actually pay people to stalk you for whatever reason. And again, paid stalking is most certainly a reality. Can you imagine that? Taking money to terrorize someone with zero regard for that person? The way I see it, almost all dirty deeds are done behind the scenes. That's a surefire way to know that you're doing something with little to no morals when you have to creep around in the shadows to do something. Now, I'm not speaking of the authorities who, in most cases, they have to be hidden to get to the bottom of the truth. I'm not talking about the ones that's authorized by law to surveillance you for legal purposes. For example, it's no secret that I've been harassed and stalked for quite some time now. The more I expose it, the smarter the perpetrators try to be. There's some sort of obsession with either causing me harm or illegally surveillancing me with the hopes of digging up something or some kind of information to deem me not credible to speak on my own life experiences. That's just crazy. And they are hoping to deem me mentally unstable. I mean, let's think about that. They're stalking me to deem me mentally unstable. That sounds like an oxymoron to me. But good luck with that, because my daily routine is pretty basic, because I'm grateful for just peace. So anything more than that is a bonus for me. I don't do anything mind-blowing. I'm a pretty simple woman, I can take a little bit and make that go a long way. I just enjoy the simple life. Now, honestly, at one time, being stalked used to cause me a huge amount of anxieties. So much anxieties that I can't even begin to explain it. I remember I used to go to sleep as often as possible just to have a peace of mind. That was the only time that I actually had peace, was when I was sleeping. But those days are gone. Those days are long gone. Now, I won't say that I was weak back then, but I most certainly experienced anxiety on a level that was off the charts. Now, I'm more aware. I'm more aware of the lengths that people would actually go to cause you physical or mental anguish. I'm more aware of sometimes people are paid to cause you physical or mental anguish. And I'm more aware of the fact that I'm not the only one who experiences extreme stalking. Like I said, so many people have emotional or mental breakdowns from the anxiety of being stalked. The victim is not believed. That's the craziest thing ever. For those of you out there who experience anything remotely close to stalking or gang stalking, please do not let fear take over. Do not. Now, I'm not saying that you should be confrontational, because that may escalate the situation to where either you or them wind up getting hurt. But be smart, be courageous, be strategic. First and foremost, bring it to the attention of the authorities. Stalking used to be overlooked, but in this day and age, the authorities take this more seriously than you imagine. because of the horror stories, and especially due to those who actually had to lose their life when they tried to tell anyone who would listen that they were being stalked. Look, any proof is better than none at all, so keep a record of your daily experiences with these stalkers. Now, the number one thing I have to stress is please do not engulf yourself with it. Just don't. Just make notes of what's going on with dates and times, maybe pictures, screenshots, or whatever, if you can, and then go live your life. Don't just sit around documenting all day long things that these stalkers are doing. Don't do that, because you're actually allowing them to control your life. You're allowing them to take over your life, and you just don't want to do that. You know, as I always say, justice, whether you're here or not, is still justice. Now, that may not be the most pleasant way of looking at it, but for me, if anything happens to me, I want to make sure that the authorities have a good trail of evidence to go off to seek justice on my behalf. You know, because stalkers, they want to feel powerful. I'm not really sure how that works, because if you have to do these horrific acts behind the scenes, that's a coward to me. Oh, and one more thing. There's some recent thing where people are hiring stalkers to actually come in your vicinity to do spell work on you. It's a thing. I am not joking. People hiring people to come and stay in the apartment next to you, work at your job, or pretend to be a new friend of yours. They hire these people to get close to you to do spell work. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but as the world changes, so does the attempts to mask all these wrongdoings. Now, you may not believe in spell work being done on you, but please, don't take my word for it. Do your research. Now, I won't go so far into that right now, because that can get a bit tricky to talk about, but I will. And maybe it's been done for ages, but it's actually starting to come to the forefront more and more every day. You know, more and more people are speaking out about other people hiring people to do spell work on them. And if you're too far, like someone like me, I'm all the way in Costa Rica. So hidden enemies, I guess, they've made themselves my enemies, unbeknownst to me, that are still in the United States. They would hire people to come next to me, people who are natives of the land, or people who have actually traveled, get that, who have actually traveled to come. And let's say I check into an Airbnb. These people would go so far as to check into the Airbnb right next door to me, so they could be next door with their chants and their voodoo dolls. It's the craziest thing ever, and I am not making this up. I know it sounds absolutely nuts, but this seems to be the new thing. So be careful. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of spell work, because that's just not my cup of tea. You know, I just look to the Most High. I look to my angels, my ancestors, for protection. But apparently, I guess it's a belief that if they're closer to you in your vicinity, I guess the attacks work even better or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, guys, do your due diligence. Look around. There are tons of YouTube videos with testimonials of people telling you about these kinds of things. So the only thing I suggest is just educate yourself. Educate yourself on those things that you may be closed off to that, but that may make you vulnerable. I'm just saying, guys, it's better to be safe than sorry. That's all I'm saying. But please, whatever you do, for those of you who just go through stalking, no matter if it's physical, spiritual, whatever, it doesn't matter. Please do not let fear and anxieties get the best of you when you're going through stalking and gang stalking situations. There are people who will believe you. I know it was difficult at some point in society where it wasn't really taken seriously, but there are people who will do as the stalkers do, and behind the scenes, they're surveillance the ones who's surveillancing you. I'm just saying this to help, guys, because for those who go through this situation, you do feel alone. You do feel like nobody understands you. You do feel like no one believes you, but you just have to find the right connections who will believe you, and the right connections who are tech savvy, just as the stalkers are. I can't say this enough. Please don't become some kind of vigilante and take matters into your own hands. That's what the authorities are there for. Just simply do your part by keeping records of the situations, you know, dates, times, pictures, screenshots, whatever you have. And then just skip off and live your life. Because anything more than that, then you're allowing these stalkers to control your life, and that's just not an option. You guys have to remember, stalkers can sometimes go as far as hacking your devices. Now, I know that could be such a violation of your privacy. I know. But actually, I suggest allow them to go right ahead and hack away and make it that much easier for the authorities to track what they're doing to you. Yes, you may have to endure some privacy violations for a bit, but if you're like me and you don't have anything to hide, just allow those predators to hack, stalk, and do whatever they want to do. Let them create their own trail of proof of what they're doing to you. Don't stress or anything like that. And I know it's annoying sometimes, but the end results is worth it. Most importantly, live your life. I don't know how many times I should say this. I just want to say it over and over again. Just continue doing all the things that make you happy on a daily basis. Don't ever allow anyone to box you into some kind of corner of fear and anxiety. We're stronger than that. Now, I won't lie, at the beginning, you kind of freak out because the thought of someone, let's say, moved into the apartment above you to illegally surveillance you, and you know what they're doing. You know, they're the ones who, they always have all the curtains closed all the way. Sometimes they team up and they'll take turns following you. They do all kinds of things. And again, people who don't experience this, they may think that it's something that's very extreme, and it actually is extreme. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there are some of us out here who have gone through and experiencing at this very moment stalking. Just don't let it take over your life and have you sitting in fear. That's all I'm saying, because I've been there before. This is not my first rodeo with stalking. It probably won't be my last, but there's not a stalker on earth who's going to cause fear in my heart. So just continue doing all the things that make you happy, guys. Be strong. And make sure that you're aware of your surroundings, and make sure you listen to your intuition. It will never ever fail you. And I'm definitely not trying to incite any fear, okay? This is for those who experience stalking and gang stalking and feel like they're alone because nobody will believe them. And just like the stalking advocate said to me, it's not just you. People are stalked every day, but take the steps to bring awareness to your situation and keep track of the dates, times to your best ability. And if you can, covertly get some pictures. If it's online, covertly take screenshots. Make sure you connect with the authorities. And if you run into some authorities who just won't believe you, keep going. Find some authorities that will. Find some authorities that take their job seriously and they're all about getting justice. And then just let the authorities do what they do best. You know, because for every stalker who feel as if they are the smartest person in the room, there are authorities who are smarter. For every stalker who feels like they are so tech savvy, there are authorities who are even more tech savvy. And just have faith in that. Have faith that the Most High will guide the authorities to find the evidence that's needed to bring justice for you. But in the meantime, guys, just keep having fun. Keep smiling. Keep singing. Keep going outside. Get some sun. Get some fresh air. Do all the things that you love to do. Just make sure that the authorities are aware of everything that's going on. And again, do your research. Please don't take my word for it. Look at some videos of testimonials. Look at some videos even of testimonials about people sending people out to spiritually do spell work on you and cause you harm. If you guys feel that spell work has never been done to cause someone harm or even take their life, then you are misinformed. Please do your due diligence. Remember, guys, no fear, no anxieties. Just do your due diligence, and most of all, just be patient. Just let the authorities do what they do and give them the freedom to be methodical about it. You know, a lot of times we want instant gratification, but just let the authorities do what they do. And in the meantime, live it up, because nobody can take control over your precious life unless you let them. So forget that crap. Let the authorities do what they do best. Remember, guys, what goes around sure enough comes back around. Karma is a real thing. So never fear. Just be aware. Now go and have fun. Because I'm not crazy, and neither are you.